Hello, I'm Eric Snodgrass, and thank you for watching today's midday Western U.S. regional forecast video brought to you by Nutrien Ag Solutions. I've been starting off my videos here at the end of the week by showing this map. This is the National Precipitation Rank map from May 2018 through April 2019. So that one-year time period right now stands as the wettest year on record. And our records across the United States go back about 124 years. So this is the wettest 12-month time period we have on record. Now, when you look at it by state, we can clearly see that it wasn't so across the whole country. For example, parts of the Pacific Northwest, really Washington and Oregon, turned out they were on the much drier side of things, while much of the eastern half of the United States was either in the top 10 or setting a new all-time record. Because of the way that the pattern's set up, look, we've seen our drought monitor really pick up on this region as having drought that's carried through the wet season now that we're into our drier time period. We even saw over the last week in parts of Washington a one-class degradation in drought, which means we're going to watch this very carefully. Now, as you saw in the previous map, California had a wet year. They're almost entirely drought-free, and at the end of the wet kind of time period from October to April, we finally kind of knocked out drought in parts of Oregon. But it's going to be something we're going to have to continue to watch very carefully throughout the rest of this growing season, and it will be a story we'll highlight throughout much of the summer and fall. Now, over the last 72 hours, we've had this upper level trough that's kind of moved through parts of the southwest, and it did bring some rain showers into the San Joaquin Valley, although a lot of the rain showers you see there in California were topographically enhanced, which means it was air running up the side of the mountains. Because of this and due to all the snowpack, we are concerned about some snow melt and some local river flooding, although we're not predicting anything like the flooding we're getting in the central part of the United States, like here in Kansas, which, by the way, a lot of that's hitting our winter wheat fields pretty hard, and also down here in the south where we're hitting peanuts and we're hitting cotton, we're hitting corn and soybeans down in that region. But look, over the last 3 days, much of Oregon, Washington, Northern California, in fact, almost all of California, really very, very dry. And when we just look out over the short term, let's just see really quickly what's happening in the short term. I'm going to run a model for you called the HRRR, H-R-R-R, High Resolution Rapid Refresh. I want you to watch two things. We're going to be watching some pesky showers and thunderstorms still moving across parts of the southwest, and a trough that's digging right in through here in the northern plains. It's going to be bringing some rain to parts of Montana. So watch as we click play starting early Friday morning. You can see that as we progress through the morning, still the upper level low is spinning here, bringing some showers to parts of the San Joaquin Valley and over to coastal California. This isn't everybody getting rain. This is just some highly hit or miss showers. You can see the thunderstorms kind of blowing up here in the Four Corners states throughout the day. And then again, see the pesky showers and thunderstorms up here, mostly rain showers in Montana. Outside of that, through the next 36 hours, things stay relatively dry across much of the Pacific Northwest. And after that, we get ourselves into a pattern that looks something like this. Now, this is probably the most important map for me to show you in this forecast because it's going to highlight why the warmth will be here for the weekend, what's going on in California, and then what we're watching. The jet stream is screaming across the Pacific, and then it splits up into a huge ridge and a piece down here that digs into a deeper trough. Now, this trough is causing major problems. The trough axis is right here for the midsection of the country moving over toward the east. But look what we've got for the Pacific Northwest. This ridge builds in heat. The trough is what's giving us in Southern California some problems, but you need to watch this guy over here. I'll hit it with 3 arrows. That fast pocket of moving air in the jet stream, what it's going to be doing for us next week will be very important to watch, okay? So we always watch the Pacific Ocean as it telegraphs our weather 10 to 15 days in advance. Now, because of the deeper trough that's sitting in the central part of the United States, I want to let wheat farmers in the Pacific West know something here. We have got frost and freeze warnings out for a big section of the hard red winter wheat belt right there in the midsection of the country. We're going to have to see how long we spend below freezing and if this does any damage. Secondly, in parts of Kansas where we grow a lot of wheat, we have flood warnings due to all that heavy rain. So I want you to see what was going on there so we can compare that to what we're doing over here in like the Palouse and Yakima Valley over near Moses Lake, and then parts of Idaho where we grow a lot of winter wheat. Same thing for parts of Montana. So just want to keep you aware of what's going on there. When we look at the next next 5 days, we're really just dealing with right now the presence of that trough sneaking through parts of California and then moving over and toward the Four Corners states. Other than that, we're going to continue to enjoy the influence of that large ridge over the Pacific Northwest, and it's going to keep things quite dry and quite warm through our next 5 days. The showers you see here, well, we talked about that a few minutes ago, looking at our high-resolution rapid refresh model. Okay, so that's your next 5 days. Temperatures, yep, we are definitely accumulating those growing degree day units, those heat units in the Pacific Northwest. And as I talked about over the last couple of videos here, this is great. We want early season heat. It's great for potatoes and onions. It's great for the sugar beets. It's great for all the stuff we grow up there. And it's not yet to the extreme heat that we're going to cause a flash bloom in cherries or anything like that. We do see that once we get into the day 6 through 10 of our forecast, we start to see the ridge that was sitting over the Pacific Northwest moving here into the mountains and into the central plains. So you're not cooling down, but we're not going to see the really, really warm temperatures. But I do see this, and this is important. Remember I told you the Pacific Ocean's telling us something? It seems as once that jet stream finally gets over here into the west, it's going to dip south and build back over a southeastern United States ridge. And that overall just means cloud cover, inclement weather, and that's why you see the slight cooler bias. This isn't a cold snap, it's just a cooler bias due to the position of the jet stream. So that's what your bigger picture stuff looks like moving forward. Just to show you what this all means in terms of week 1 rainfall. So this is your next 7 days. Again, we know what we're watching today and tomorrow moving into this area. Dry in the Pacific Northwest though. What about week 2? Look at this. This is when the pattern goes back like this again. And that's what's going to be bringing in our chances for wetter conditions as we progress into the longer range forecast here. All right, let's just break it down real quick and we'll wrap this video up, okay? Starting with the upper levels, we've discussed this. There's that big ridge by the time we get into the weekend over this trough that's sitting down here just south of California. So that's the pattern that's bringing us warmth in the Pacific Northwest and the unsettled weather to start our weekend, really just on Friday for California. With time, the ridge builds in, and that is the heat we're getting over the next 5 days. But as I said, watch the Pacific. You see, as I start to move forward, I start to see a couple of important things. By next Thursday, we're way out here in the forecast, the 16th, 17th, we can see this deeper trough and the screaming jet stream around it coming through. And that's going to get things active again. Wow, look at that right there for the 17th. This is next Friday. We build a ridge in the middle part of the country, and this changes everything for the Pacific Northwest. This changes everything for the West Coast and the Intermountain West. And I want to show you what I'm talking about. Go right over to our European model, which will take us out 10 days here. Ready? As I click play, I don't need to stop it until about here. Look, this is getting into Monday. Tuesday, Wednesday, we don't have much going on. Remember, it's not until we get to the 15th, 16th, 17th where things get active again. Our first big plume of moisture, which might hit the coastal parts of Washington and Oregon, arrives by next Tuesday afternoon and evening. See it coming in there? But after that, really, watching next the 15th and beyond, that's when the trough digs out west. You're just going to see this happen. That's right. So this is next Friday. Look at that. See that one over there? This is the change in pattern we've been kind of highlighting, and now we can really see its influence. So if I could tell you, let's just step back. Getting you all the way through the next 5 days, it's dry. But look at this, beginning next Wednesday, and then Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. After midweek next week, we have to watch very carefully to our west to see when and where these low pressure systems are going to make landfall here in the western United States and where they're going to cause some precipitation. Normally, this is where we're moving into that drier time period, so we'll have to see the impacts this has on our crops. A good thing, this is great for pasture growth. We'd love that. We want to get the cattle out grazing on that rather than on hay, right? So this will be positive for that. This will probably be a good thing for winter wheat, and if you got the spring wheat planted, it could be good for that. But overall, bringing in rain like this at this time of year, we have to just keep a very close eye on. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and wrap up this forecast video right here. We at Nutrien Ag Solutions want to thank you for your attention. Hope you look forward to our next forecast videos coming out all week next week. Head to my.nutrienagsolutions.com to see all of them. I hope you have a great week, and we will talk to you again soon. Thank you.